All right, let's get right into it. We are breaking down the latest, and I mean urgent, advisory on Hurricane Melissa. This is a DGHradio.com news and information network Hurricane Melissa 5 a.m. update based on the National Hurricane Center advisory. And folks, the headline from that advisory it's a sobering one. The National Hurricane Center has just confirmed it. Melissa is now a Category 5 hurricane. We are looking at an incredibly dangerous, potentially catastrophic storm that's churning in the Caribbean right now. So let's really break this down. What does that actually mean? First up, we're going to look at the storm's current, just staggering intensity.
There it is. That's the number that changes everything. Category 5. Melissa has officially hit the top of the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. This is the highest, most dangerous category a hurricane can possibly reach. There's nothing stronger.
And that intensity, well, it's defined by its maximum sustained winds. We're talking about winds near 160 miles per hour, that's 260 kilometers per hour, with gusts that are even higher. These are winds that cause nothing short of catastrophic destruction. You can also see the storm's raw power in its central pressure, which has just plummeted to 917 millibars. Now, with hurricanes, it's simple. The lower the pressure, the stronger the storm. And believe me, 917 is exceptionally low. It's a textbook sign of a powerful, perfectly formed hurricane. Okay, so where is this monster right now? As of 5 a.m. Eastern Time, the center of the storm was located just 130 miles southwest of Kingston, Jamaica. That kind of proximity, it puts the entire island directly in the crosshairs for the absolute worst conditions. And that brings us right to our next section. The immediate, and I mean severe, danger that is staring Jamaica right in the face. A hurricane warning is in effect for the entire island, and it's so important you understand what that means. We're not talking about a watch where conditions are just possible. A warning means hurricane conditions are expected. The time to prepare, that window has slammed shut. And those conditions are going to be a full-on assault from every angle. We are talking about destructive, catastrophic winds, a life-threatening storm surge, catastrophic flash flooding from just biblical amounts of rain, and in the mountains, you're looking at numerous landslides. Widespread, long-lasting power outages, that's not a possibility, it's a certainty. Let's zoom in on that storm surge for a second. The National Hurricane Center is forecasting a surge of 9 to 13 feet above normal tide levels along the southern coast of Jamaica. Just try to picture that. That is a wall of water that will completely inundate coastal communities. And the rain? My goodness, the rainfall threat is just as bad. The forecast is calling for 15 to 30 inches of rain across the island, but look at this. In some spots, they could see up to 40 inches. 40! That amount of water is going to trigger absolutely devastating flash floods and landslides. The message from the experts, from the forecasters, could not be more blunt. This is a direct quote from the advisory's key messages. Do not venture out of your safe shelter. It's as simple and as serious as that. Okay, so with Jamaica facing this immediate, brutal impact, the big question is, where is this monster of a storm heading next? In Section 3, we're going to look at the official 5-day forecast track straight from the National Hurricane Center. All right, let's walk through this timeline. Right now, Melissa is a Category 5 just south of Jamaica. By Tuesday morning, that incredibly powerful core is expected to hit the south coast, still as a catastrophic storm. Then, after it crosses the island's mountains, it's going to emerge on the north side Tuesday afternoon. It'll be weaker, sure, but still a major Category 4 hurricane. From there, it sets its sights on southeastern Cuba as a Category 3, then pushes out into the Atlantic, passing near the southeastern Bahamas on Wednesday and then aiming toward Bermuda by Friday morning, likely as a Category 1. So, following that track, let's take a closer look at the threats for the islands directly in Melissa's path right after it leaves Jamaica. That's Cuba and Hispaniola. A hurricane warning is also up for several provinces in eastern Cuba. The message there is the same. Preparations have to be rushed to completion right now. Cuba is bracing for a life-threatening storm surge of 6 to 9 feet, rainfall totals up to 20 inches. And you know what that means, potentially catastrophic flash flooding and landslides. And this is a really critical point of concern, the threat to Hispaniola. Even though the island is to the east of the hurricane's core, a tropical storm warning is in effect for Haiti. The number one danger here isn't the wind, it's the water. Catastrophic flash flooding and landslides are expected because of the immense amount of moisture this storm is dragging in. For Haiti especially, this could lead to extensive damage and could completely isolate entire communities.
All right, looking even further down that forecast track, let's turn our attention to the potential impacts for the Bahamas and Bermuda later on this week.
So here's the situation. A hurricane watch is now in effect for the southeastern and central Bahamas, plus the Turks and Caicos. That means hurricane conditions are possible there by Wednesday. The main takeaway for them? All your preparations have to be done, absolutely finished, by Tuesday night. And for everyone in Bermuda, you need to be watching Melissa's progress very, very closely because the storm is forecast to be knocking on your door by Friday.
Okay, so let's wrap all this up. I want to quickly summarize the deadliest threats from this hurricane and then shift to what this all means for your personal safety plan. So to recap, here are the 4 major life-threatening hazards from Melissa that everyone in the region really needs to have front of mind. First, that storm surge. That's the wall of water pushed ashore, and it's often the single deadliest threat. Second, the extreme rainfall, which causes devastating floods and landslides, sometimes miles and miles from the coast. Third, the catastrophic winds. We're talking winds that can completely destroy even well-built homes. And finally, the dangerous surf and rip currents, which can affect coastlines hundreds of miles away from the storm center. And really, this all boils down to one final critical question. You have the information, the warnings are out there. For every single person in the path of this extremely dangerous hurricane, the only thing that matters now is this. Is your family safety plan ready?